the channel. For those of you who are new, a big welcome. Today I am going to be continuing some whips in the Forest Kingdom. So this is just going to be a color and chat video, one where I can just chat with you, keep you company, while continuing to knock down my huge pile of whips. So if you have a whip that you would like to carry on coloring and would like some company, then go ahead and grab it and we can color in our whips together. If not, maybe you're starting a new page, or maybe you just want to color in something else and listen to me in the background. That's also great, whatever works for you. I am doing a whip here in Tales from the Forest Kingdom. It is this one. And I'm just going to put my paper underneath it to protect the pages. And I did the sky with Prismacolors, and I did the trees and this grass here with Graphitints, and then I'm going over them to deepen them. And the idea is to create a bit of a silhouette kind of look, and I want to make these stars glowing, so I need to work on that. But I'm going to come and do these mushrooms. So if you like, I'll tell you what the colors are, and then if you like the color combination, you've got that. But I'm not going to go through every single process. I'm just going to color and talk. So I'm using light aqua PC992, electric blue PC1040, and grey green light PC289. So I got the idea. The Netflix has brought out another season of Pokemon. The one episode had glowing mushrooms, so it inspired me because I wanted to make these like those luminescent mushrooms that you get in movies and all of that. So I'm going to bring you down a bit further so you can see, and then all right. So yeah, so I got inspired from that and decided that I would come here and do my picture. So I hope that you are all well. I do apologize not being able to do our live video. As you know, I haven't been feeling well. I'm still not well. I don't actually know what I've come down with, but I think it's pretty safe to say it's the same thing that my one boy came down with a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I decided not to take a COVID test because, you know, I still have my taste and smell. I don't have a cough. I don't have any flu-y symptoms. All I really have is just sore joints and a fever and a slight tummy ache. And I'm really tired, on and off. So I'm just staying at home. Today is a Sunday. It is Sunday, I think it's the 4th of September. And the boys have started rugby. So rugby season's kicked off, so hubby's gone and taken them to rugby, and I'm home alone. So I'm not going to take too long because I might actually go and rest a bit more. But I had, oh gosh, I don't know if any of you get this, so let me know in the comments. Do you ever start the month where you look at a pile of books and you just go, I don't know what to color? Or you think you know, and then when you start, your mind just goes blank. Well, I've had that feeling for about 4 days, and then I think it was yesterday I sat down and I was able to finish 2 coloring pages, and I think I started it on Thursday, Friday. I started another whip, which was, only thing I'd done in it was skin. And not even all of the skin, so it was literally like a couple of layers of skin. So it got kick-started, and I'm so glad because, as you know, I've got like 70 whips to bring down, and I really want to get these whips down so I can focus on other things. And I think I've mentioned it before, like I don't mind having some whips, but having this many is a bit of an issue. So I really do need to keep working at this. But I am a bit, gutted because I really wanted to color in my Creative Haven Autumn Scenes book by Teresa Goodrich. But anyway, it's fine. If I do like if I just can keep knocking this pile down, it will be worth it. And I can always do autumn inspired themes during our lives, which will help. So sorry, my brain's tired. This is what's happening. I'm like inwardly all happy to talk and rearing to go, but then inwardly my brain just kind of goes, it freezes. I must say though, I am really grateful for the rest. I think it was last week I fell asleep, I think 2 days in a row at about 9:30, or it was 2 days in the week where I fell asleep at like 9:30, which is so unusual for me. At the earliest I'll go to bed at like, I don't know, 10:30. But yeah, I've been going to bed quite early, which is for me unusual. And then I'm trying to keep my germs to myself, but having the time to color has just been so lovely. And I must say, I think a part of me is grateful for the rest because, when life is busy and sometimes I don't rest properly. I don't know if you have that. The other downside of not being well is my exercise routine is a bit thrown now, which is real disappointment because I find I get exercise for my well-being. I don't really, okay, let's see, how do I put this? Do I exercise to look pretty and all of that? Yes, there's an element of truth to that, but I think my main reason for exercising is to keep my emotions and my hormones in a stable place. And I found about 6 months ago I'd had about, I don't know, I think it was like 18 months of inconsistent exercise. And over last winter, I really struggled with my eating. I didn't have an eating disorder or anything like that. I'd look in the fridge and I just couldn't be bothered to eat. So when I phoned the doctor, oh gosh, I'm going into a huge long story now. Anyway, I phoned the doctor and I didn't phone him because I was struggling to know what to eat. I phoned him for other reasons. And I mentioned it to the doctor and he suggested I go for regular walks. But eventually what happened is I came across a great YouTube channel and I started doing home exercise from there. And what I noticed is that I would feel more awake and feel more alert. My hormones were a bit more stable. My body got stronger, so I was able to handle what life threw at me a bit better. So now that I'm not feeling well and I shouldn't exercise with a headache or a mild fever, I'm finding that I'm missing my exercise because I love that feeling of being mentally awake and ready for the day. But I know it will pass and I'll get back into it soon. It's just a matter of time. So this week was a good week. It was a busy week though. We had a lot going on with the kids. Starting them in their new school routine. And yeah, I'm very excited about what we're doing for their schooling. It's very exciting, and I think it's going to bring out so much good in them. But it's been busy to just get things organized, go to the right places, make sure I've got all the books, and they've got all their notebooks, their files, and all of that sort of stuff. So from that aspect, it's been quite busy, but in a good way. And I'm excited for autumn. I love the change of the leaves in the autumn. I think it's so beautiful. In a way, the same way I love spring. You know, spring, everything comes back to life and is all vibrant and just refreshing. And, you know, the promise of summer-filled days and sunshine. So I'm not really happy with this electric blue because I want a slightly deeper shadow. So I'm going to find something else. At the same time, I don't want too much blue because I do want this mushrooms to kind of glow. So we'll see. So you should see up on the channel, I have put up the puzzle effects video for you. So do check that out, and I hope that you enjoy that video. I am planning that color theory video, so all I really need to do is just sit down and think it through how I'm going to do it. I want to be able to show you some examples from my own coloring, and I bought a PVC tablecloth for our table, the one that I always film off and the boys do their schoolwork on. So hopefully that will be quite fun to film, because I'll be able to give you guys something other to look at than wood grain. And every few months or so I'll change it up. Recommendation from a friend. Of course, we have Guy Fawkes coming up in November, which I always look forward to. I love fireworks. And then after that is Christmas. Now, I don't count Halloween, so please excuse me. I know there are quite a few people out there who love Halloween. I will be avoiding the shops as much as possible during Halloween. I just don't do well with the decorations and that stuff. Like I've said before, it's just a personal thing. I know quite a few people who love Halloween. But then after that, it's Christmas. And I will be most likely finished with a whole chunk of these whips. So I can do Christmas pictures galore and winter pictures. So I'll do like probably a lot of Christmas pictures in December if I can get my whips down in time. And I think I'll do Elf on the Shelf again, because the kids loved that. It was so much fun. I just need to actually start thinking about the different pranks and jokes I can do beforehand, and then give myself some time. But we had quite a lot of fun with that. And then I can't wait to set up my Christmas lights in the windows and start playing all the Christmas music. Like, seriously, I don't know what it is about Christmas, I just love it. I totally agree with the whole thing that it is consumerism and materialistic, and just society's way of getting us to spend more money on stuff that we don't need to spend money on, or is cheaper in other times of the year. I totally agree with that and support that. But I just find Christmas so much fun. So, of course, the downside to Christmas this year is all the stuff going on with the energy prices. Now, as far as I understand, that's affecting the world. So that's a bit of a thing. But anyways, nothing we can do. We just got to do what we can and get through the winter, or all of us. So we'll get there, just take one step at a time, one day at a time. All right, I don't know if those are bright enough, but anyway, it will do for now. So what I've been doing with myself in the whips is I am basically going and just saying to myself, you know what, just color it in, and however it ends up, that's how it will end up. And not because I don't want to take pride in my work, but more because I don't really, with so many whips, I can't really afford to faff over them too much and psych myself out. So I am really trying to do what I can to focus and get them done. Obviously, to get them done well. But yeah, when you have like 70 whips, going about it really meticulously and slowly, it's just never going to get done. And I really do have other pictures I want to color. So like with what I've been doing is also just looking at my picture and going, okay, well, what is in the background, what is not in the background? And if it's not in the background, I will focus more attention on there and make sure my coloring is really focused and well thought out. But then with stuff in the background that doesn't need as much attention, I'm just going and saying, okay, well, that doesn't need as much attention, so just do a couple of layers. It's not going to need a whole lot of layers. And I'm finding that approach is helping me to get through the pictures. And then when I'm done with these whips, I think what I'm going to do to make sure I avoid piling up my whips as much is I'll just see if I can plan my colors a bit better and plan my page. Because like with this page, I don't have anything written down. I didn't work out, what color the bunny is going to be or the clothes. So I need to be able to sit with the page and go, okay, I'm going to color the trees this color, and plan out the colors. At least that way, if I do stop, I'm not losing what I've accomplished and my ideas, so it still stays. But I can't actually, so I had somebody suggest that I plan out the entire page and see it finished in my mind's eye. So my mind actually doesn't work that way. I very seldom actually can see a page in its, even when I look at a page and can see it finished, I can't actually visualize the end product. It's very seldom that I do that, but I can see sometimes the colors, or I know the colors that I want. So I think if I can just plan the pages better, it will help. And that's where I love how different and unique we are, because what works for one person doesn't always work for another, and yet we can still learn from each other and think about things and see what works. And I think that that is a beautiful thing, to be able to listen and learn. So I appreciate the tips and the advice, and I think I will definitely come up with a way to make it easier on myself to not have so many whips, because really, and sometimes I start pages because I'm practicing a technique. So I had this conversation with my husband, and I said to him, oh, sometimes it's just about the practice. And we were talking about how, having whip for us, or for me, having whips is okay up to a certain point. So yeah, so I'm just working on these leaves. So I've done it with the graphite tint, but I wanted it a bit deeper. So, and I can't even remember what color I used up here, because I didn't write it down. So yeah, so our week has been really full of a lot of school related things and getting things started, and I think next week's going to be the same, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to do our live again on Friday. So I'm pretty convinced I will be much better. I did think of finishing the page off camera, but I decided against it because I really don't trust myself at the moment, and I don't want to make a mess of it. So I thought I'll just leave it and we can do it together. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to you all for your support, and in all the different ways that you support the channel, support me. I really, really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. And I don't know really how else to thank you, except just to say really thank you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this channel grows and how we all grow together. I was looking at some of the coloring pages on Instagram, and oh my goodness, some of these people are amazing. And I do struggle with comparing myself. So if you find yourself comparing yourself to me or to other people, like, I want you to know that you're not alone. I suffer from that sometimes as well. And when I see some of these coloring pages on Instagram, it's really tricky to not fall into that level of comparing myself and then feeling like I can't color to save my life, because their work is just so beautiful. And I find when I'm not feeling great, I tend to do that a bit more. So I need to be even more aware of it. But I just wanted to encourage you that if you are somebody who does compare yourself to other people, just be encouraged. You're not alone. I think there is a lot more of us who do that than not do it. And it's easy for us to tell each other, like, don't compare yourself, but we all, you know, a lot of us do. So what I said to myself today was to acknowledge the growth that I've seen in my coloring over the past 2 years, and to be proud of that, and that the person I will be in 3 years' time and the way my coloring will be in 3 years' time will be so much different to what it is now, and to just celebrate what I've learned and how I've grown. So I don't know if that is helpful to anyone. Just a little bit of a pep talk I tell myself. Yes, sometimes, you know, we have to be kind to ourselves. But I am excited to show you all the whips that I finish in September. So all my completed works in September will be finished whips. They won't be new whips or new pages, unless they were pages I did on the live stream. I could end up coloring those trees forever, so let's do something different since you are watching me color. So I'm going to white out this boy's hair. And I think I'm going to give him blonde hair, so we'll see. I'll do his skin first. So if you're not comfortable with skin, you could always take a small picture like this and do the skin tone there, because it's not too much. So I'm using peach. And then you can use some beige sienna. Let's see. So you need to build up the layers with like reds, pinks, browny grays. We need some light umber now, so You need to balance the browns, the reds, the yellows, and some of the greys. The greys help just to tone things down. Little beige sienna. And we will blend this out with cream. Can take a little bit of henna. And you don't want to be too heavy-handed on the henna because it will be quite dark and quite a lot of red. And then what you need is dark brown. And you just build it up until you're happy with it. Where did I go? Oh, there it is, on his ear. All right, and now I'm going to take a beige. Because I need some yellow in there. So I'm just going to take a beige. And I'm going to add some yellow tones to this as well. You can see here on his hands, they're not as red, so we need to bring in a bit more of that henna. You could also use some pink. And all that does is it just gives a bit of lifelikeliness to it. I don't know, it just works. You need, if you look at your own skin, you have a bit of pinky touches to it. So having that really works. So this is the peach. Again, I need it to look like it has some life and is not like pale or jaundiced. And if you find you've got too much pigment or the wrong pigment, then just take your eraser and lift up some of that color and it will be okay. You can use white as a blender as well if you like. I don't mind his skin being a bit dark because it is night, so it will look a bit different. So this is the cream, and I want to use the cream for my highlighted areas. And if you take that henna ever so slightly, you could possibly go over his lips just so he has natural colored lips, not black lined lips. Alright, and that's how I do skin on little people. Really nothing to it. In some ways I prefer the bigger portraits because you can really work with the skin tones a lot more. But that's not too bad. He's wearing pajamas. They're both wearing pajamas, so I need to think about their clothes. But we can make the patches like old material patches. So if we use some ginger root, Alright everyone, thank you so much for listening to me just talk and share what I've been up to and how things are going, how I'm getting better and still not on the mend. Thank you again for coloring with me or just watching. I hope that you have a lovely start to the week and I will see you in my next video. Until next time, take care.